That's how. The cameraman over here doing good. Doing good.
I think this is gonna work.
You'd be a little bit more like the intern though. She can't afford to pay.
Yeah, we don't really.
Good internship.
Yeah, we'll just take the videos and that'll be it. So first balloon with the platform when we get up 60 miles.
I think we should do the rocket first, the model rocket. We take an Arduino, we get a couple small motors, 3 of them, and we try to build a mechanism that can tilt a parachute or tilt our mast in such a way that we drift in one direction.
Okay.
And then we send up a smartphone that we can use, because it's not going to go that high, we'll maybe use the SMS towers or whatever they're called for coordinates and try to position it, you know, with an accuracy of 30 feet or 30 meters, who cares?
So we'll do that.
Then we build the balloon.
Okay.
And the launch pad, which could be based on the size of the rocket. Then imagine the more mass that launch pad has, the better the rocket's going to take off at that initial moment.
Yeah.
Away from the balloon.
How big a balloon is it?
I don't know, dude. The guy space jumped from a fucking capsule that I'm sure weighed at least 500 pounds. And he had a big ass balloon.
Yeah.
You can get some big ass balloons.
What would the big ass balloons be made out of?
I don't know, the same stuff all weather balloons are made out of.
Just
Really what
weather
you do
balloons,
is you put so much fuel into it and you calculate how big it's going to get at 150,000 feet.
Right.
So the balloon's capable of stretching to that size with the fuel that it has in it
Right.
at that altitude. Eventually it's going to burst.
Right.
Or we can just, break it. Or whatever.
I don't think we should break it. I think we should just
Well,
let
we
it
should
burst.
use like a couple of them so we can send up and balance a platform.
Yeah, they're probably not all going to burst at the same time.
No, but we don't care. We get the rocket to launch, and then we just break them all and have some big parachutes with control mechanisms on it so we can guide it back down in a 100-mile radius from the salt
Reusable
flat.
platform.
What's that?
Reusable platform.
No, more so we can guide it down, because I'm sure, well, that's dangerous, launching a big-ass platform, falling to Earth at who knows how fast, whatever its terminal
Do
velocity.
you think we could launch it in the salt flats and get it to land in my backyard?
Probably not. We should launch it in salt flats and get it to land,
Yeah,
within
the
like
salt
a...
flats.
Well, we could project a point that's like 20 miles in front of us or 100 miles in front of us, and it will land like within like a 10, 15 mile radius, 100 miles ahead of us, so it's away from everything.
I don't know, 100 miles, that's a long distance.
Yeah, but at that point we'll just drive out with the deuce and go pick it up. And then,
So we're going to take the dudes to the salt flats.
and I would assume the rocket's just KO'd after it gets to 60 miles, but we would essentially do the same thing with the guide mechanism,
Right.
because it's not going to break orbital.
Are we going to try to bring the rocket back or just get it to 60?
We should just aim for 60, but then build some sort of mechanism. Just guide it down.
If it's going to fall back.
Right.
Are we going to coat it in ceramics so we can survive the fall?
That's not going to be that high, I don't think. And if we release our
What?
parachute right away, it won't fall that fast.
How close would it have to be for the atmosphere to be dense enough for parachute to even matter?
What do you mean?
Because it's some.
I
Like at
think
60
a
feet,
parachute
so
would affect it if it's big enough at 60 miles. There's probably still enough atmosphere, David.
to just fall slow as fuck.
I don't know if it'd be slow, but
It would be pretty slow. It'd probably.
I don't think it'd be slow. It would probably go pretty quick, and then it would have gradually slowed down as the atmosphere got thicker. I think
It's gonna be dragged a lot. Maybe from winds.
yeah, it would be.
What
So it
happens
would
when
be
it gets
better
to
if
a
we could
rainbow?
we could get past like the jet stream, and then open up the parachute.
How quickly does it hit terminal velocity?
Well, its terminal velocity is going to be greater the further it is up. It's actually going to slow down as it gets closer to Earth, if it's far enough, because there's going to be less drag on us. It's going to get pulled faster and faster and faster, and then it's going to start slowing up,
But
if it's that high.
How fast does it need to be going to crunch the air enough to light it on fire?
I don't know. I would imagine that the rocket would have to be made out of light metal of some sort.
Right, but they coat the space shuttle in special ceramic so it doesn't burn up. And they use pretty highly engineered metals. So I would imagine it gets pretty hot.
Yeah, but they're not floating around at 60 miles. They're floating around much higher than that. And their speeds are much greater. I don't know. I mean, you can shoot a model rocket up a mile and it falls down just fine. I don't know what that means.
But I
anything,
mean,
but
from 60 miles, then maybe it takes more than a mile to reach that speed. Maybe it's like 12 miles. Or at 60 miles.
maybe. I mean, you're probably right. We'll have to figure that out. I think we should start with the smaller rocket than Arduino.
Yeah.
Couple small ones.
Sending that size would probably.
But we can do the GPS thing with the phone. We can do that on that quadcaster there.
Right.
Though I did find out that the phones don't have gyros in them. At least most don't. And their accelerometer isn't sensitive enough to really work out the that Kelvin filter or whatever it does to combine the gyro and accelerometer.
Couldn't we get
That's what
those?
we would want to do.
Couldn't we get those two sensors and attach it to an Arduino though?
Yeah, that's what we probably want to do.
Right. Instead of using it.
And then we would just send directional commands from the phone, and the Arduino would process those and manipulate the four rotors in that for you.
Why would we even need a phone at that rate?
Oh, because we can just get stuff like GPS and stuff.
Couldn't we
GPS.
get a sensor on the Arduino that would do that?
We could, but we have smartphones. We don't need it.
Sure.
We'll probably want to do that for a rocket.
You're
that we
talking
send
about
out, but
it.
for a model rocket, I'm thinking a phone.
So
can.
we should put like a cheap ass phone.
You don't put my
It's
phone
like
on
a
a
bar
model
phone.
rocket.
No, not that. I'm just saying for weight and because you're gonna send up like a quad core processing computer
I would.
just for the GPS data. We could send out just like a microphone.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying for tests and stuff, for building a rocket that we can position back and
Like,
accuracy, just send up a phone. It's got all that on it. You don't need to buy something for it. But then when you build a rocket that's going to go further and the phone's useless because none of that information, you can't even get that from it anyways.
I mean, instead of putting your phone in there, I think I have a cheap bar phone that we could try to interface with.
Android? I'll put my phone in the model.
I have the Galaxy S1 that Matt gave me. All my phone's broken.
Can it do GPS once every second?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are we gonna write a new kernel for it?
Well, Android just says support. It's not 3.1 and above, is it?
It's 2.2.
We need
We
a phone.
could probably force it to be that high though.
Realistically, we need something that can support USB host stuff for Android. I don't know too much about it. But
I would imagine we could get a new version of Android on it. It would be a custom Mazo rather than writing your own kernel. Because that'll take a while and it's already been done.
maybe, but we just get a smarter phone. You know, I mean, it's just a test.
Yeah, I guess.
And I'm willing to send my phone. But
Travis has got a Galaxy S2.
As long as it has USB support on it, it makes it easy to interface with the Arduino. If it doesn't, we have to do workarounds, and we're not going to use direct USB that we want. We have to use like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth if we don't want to.
But I'm just saying, I don't see why we couldn't do it with any version of Android. It just
Maybe
take
you
more
can.
doing.
I don't know how to do that.
It just take a little more doing.
If you get a phone to work with it.
I was fucking around with Android. I had it plugged in and was able to upload YouTube to it.